Hello and thanks a lot for joining us. On this playlist we're going to be going through the most recent league to onboard with SoRare, the Eredivisie. By the time we're getting this video out, I should hopefully still have some sneaky wee gems to share with you. Otherwise it's a great kind of overview analysis of the league as it is and just gets you a good kind of feel for pricing and that kind of thing on the market. Like, subscribe, share, retweet, all that good stuff guys. Stay out of trouble and let's get stuck into it. Now, the first one we've got, guys, in my opinion, is an absolute gem of a find. 26-year-old defender. He plays for Emmen, who are bottom of the league, as you know. You will see his last couple of scores are very appealing, and it doesn't really seem to be that much of a, surprise or whatever. But when I look at the pricing that the guy does float about at, 100, 0.129 of an ETH, 0.13, and the kind of auction prices he's had, like when he IPO'd and stuff like that, even 2 hours ago, less than a tenth of an ETH. 26 years of age, defender, bottom of the league, who are doing really, really bad, okay? Like, majorly bad. Look at their results. They get beat all the time. They lose all the time. So being a defender in this team, you should not be able to score good stats. It just should not be possible. Look at the run of results they've had. Absolutely terrible, okay? And this is our boy, Miguel Arroyo. And as you can see, he plays 90 minutes all the time. He's always in these games. They're losing. Can he win for love nor money? But this guy is an absolute machine. He's playing centre back every week. You can see from his defensive stats here in terms of his tackles, interceptions, clearances, blocks, all this kind of stuff. He's always, I think 6.92 is an average rating. Doesn't really show you the full. It really doesn't show you the contribution. He's actually saving this team probably a lot of goals and a lot of worse scorelines than what they've had. As you can see there, centre back the whole time. Characteristics: tackling, passing, direct free kicks, blocking the ball, all strong, very strong. Likes to tackle. He's just a down and dirty centre back, no nonsense. Get the ball clear and play it forward from there. If I actually look at the history of the stats, this is one thing I was clicking into earlier. Is with the direct free kicks, he does have 4 goals this season, and that can't all be from headers and that kind of thing. So it makes me think the guy's got a good, he's also got a free kick in him, and he's got a few man of the match awards. And some of the ratings he's getting are up to like 8 and stuff like that, which on a website like Who Scored is a very worthwhile score to be picking up. And when you look at his SO5 scores, he's just amazing. Like 3 reds, okay, a couple of DNPs scattered throughout the last like 100 game weeks or whatever. But look at all those 80s, look at all those 70 pluses, there's lots of them up there, and again, if this guy was at a top 6 club, it would be quadruple the price, absolutely, At 26 years of age, he's the sort of guy that he'll transfer to someone eventually, and then it'll be like, oh, where did they get this amazing little gem from? But the stats are there. This is a really amazing little centre-back at 26 years of age. I don't know why I'm calling him little, but if you're around that kind of price range and you're looking for a strong defender, this guy's amazing. Now, I'm a little bit biased, right, because I have this guy, but again, similar to the last guy we were chatting about, Denzel Dumfries for me is just so underpriced, it's untrue. He plays every week at right back for PSV, one of the top teams in the division, and he's captain, so he's one of these guys that also a leader on the pitch, and he's got a massive respect in the dressing room and that kind of thing, so he was rumoured with transfers away, so that's always a possibility for his future. But some of the prices he's been going for on auction, like, also I've had him and enjoyed a good score or two. He's had a bad score recently, yeah, 36, and that's inaccurate because that game's on right now, but I think he's just so cheap. He plays virtually all the time in a very successful team, bagging wins on a weekly basis virtually. And the good thing about him being like PSV captain, if you look at his kind of stats and whatever, they're all quite good, especially for this league and like we're saying, standing in the club or whatever. But one thing I do like when I look at these like strengths and weaknesses, right? If you look at his weaknesses, his crossing and holding onto the ball, them being anywhere near being called a weakness will hold him back going to the elite level, which means there's a higher likely outcome that he'll probably stay at PSV much longer for his career and stay in this kind of current situation, which for an SO5 fantasy football perspective is a very valuable bit of certainty to have, when you're planning out your team for the future and that sort of thing as well. And you can see his strengths there are all very good as well for what he is good at, but yeah, something to think about. I mean, it's nice when people transfer, from one club to another and all the rest of it, but sometimes you just want the guy to copy paste, keep repeating. Look at his SO5 scores. Yeah, he's got a few reds, okay, but if you can get to 100 for me, that's a golden seal of approval. I like people that have got a 100 in their locker. So yeah. Now this was potentially a wee bit of a longer burn, potentially, for it to come good for you. Bit of a DNP merchant at the moment, okay, but as you'll see as we click through, we find out a wee bit more about Sean Klaiber, kind of the circumstances that are around everything at the moment. So, 25-year-old defender at Ajax, on the face of it, you know, bunch of DNPs. He's not really that cheap, right, which will always prompt you to probably investigate a little bit further, because they have had a few injuries in their squad, Ajax, to say the least. I count 4 different right backs to have appeared for them this season, so they're all going through different periods of being in and out of the team, in and out of form, in and out of injury. So somebody with the score history that this guy has, of having really high scores when he does play, whether it be right back or left back, considering the amount of injuries they've got. He's got key characteristics like his key pass and concentration, really good stats for a fullback to have as well. And his previous form while at Utrecht, you know, the last 2 seasons, you know, he's got great goal and assist contributions for a much lower down the table outfit. Now being at Ajax, of course, the opportunities to make massive improvements on those numbers is there. And yeah, I find him affordable. Now, it is a longer burn. You're not going to be able to buy this guy. He might play the next match, who knows. He's been back on the bench and stuff recently. But as you can see, if he's going to be starting matches and getting involved in the scoreline, he's going to be shooting big numbers for you. These are all going to be the sub appearances and coming back from injury and it not working out and all the rest of it. But if he is getting back in the team, and you can even predict, you know, even 3 games in a row, you can easily get your hands on 2 of them once you see, alright, he started the last match, he's back in now. You know, he will get little streaks in the team when he does become fit and available. You can see that there. So I like him. Now, I'm a massive fan of this guy, Fleming. Now, he's listed on this as a forward. He's under 23 eligible. You can see his last 5 scores make him appealing, and he will gather some attention at auction. He's not the cheapest player we're going to talk about today, of course, but he is one of my favourites. Up and coming, really exciting. Fortuna Sittard are in a good little spell of form. They're one of these teams that win matches or lose matches. They don't really have too many draws in them. And this guy's been a really big part of their season. Former Ajax youth, you know, and he's actually transferred, you know, he's out the league and, you know, further down the league, I should say, got game experience and all the rest of it. 13 goals last season for NEC Nijmegen in the league below, and in Eredivisie now, 20 starts and 7 goals. 5 of those 7 coming in the last kind of little spell of matches, as you see here in front of you. But this guy is starting to play centre mid. You know, this guy is playing midfield now when he's getting all these goals and assists and he's contributing into the team now. So, yeah, he's doing good as a forward, but as you see here, weaknesses is actually listed as finishing. Must mean he's obviously getting on a lot of shots and just not converting them. But counter-attack threat, likes to do flick-ons, long shots. You know, so this guy, really exciting for me. And the fact that he does play in midfield, he's going to get a lot of base score points on SO5 because he's going to be tackling, passing, dribbling a lot more often, being so much deeper on the pitch. And look at that lovely curve of scores. You know, there's not lots of them that doesn't go back too far in terms of history or whatever. As you can see, they're all quite very much the here and the now. But lovely spread. Not when was the last time he had a red? It was game week not available. You know, so yeah, really like this guy. Not cheap, of course, but a really solid card. Being ex-Ajax youth as well, when these guys crop up somewhere else doing well, you know, the chance of getting being snapped up in another transfer in the near future is probably another reason you might want to buy this card as well. And then the last guy we've got in the video today is another under 23s. This one is a defender, and he is Danilo Douweki of Vitesse Arnhem. So as you can see, the last 5 scores aren't too appealing, so he may not get too much attention at auctions. But the guy's a solid centre back, under 23 years of age. We'll see more as we get into it. But the last 2 auctions, you know, the last couple of days have went for that kind of amount of money. So as you can see there, he's certainly not cheap. He's not unknown to everyone, but when those SO5 scores are lower, they will get less attention in the general auctions. Again, had a spell with Ajax, transferred to Vitesse, and as you can see, since he's been at Vitesse, he's always got plus to 20s in terms of appearances and whatnot, and this season he's been ever present again, on the bench once or twice, come back from these are internationals I suppose as well, under 21 international, but plays every week, and as you can see, Vitesse are sitting 3rd in the table at the moment in good form. He's a centre back that has a long ball in him, about 2.5 a match, as well as defensively getting a lot of clearances of about 3.5 and 1.8 on interceptions. So a really busy, clear the ball, no nonsense sort of centre back. 3-day average you can see on the secondary market, he's went for as little as that. Really good little snip for an under 23 defender. This guy's only scored 1 goal this season, you know, and he's got an 100 in him. He's got 80s, he's got 87s, 96s. You know, I really like this guy a lot. You know, he does have a couple of reds in there, but they're very few and far between. Mainly oranges, but for an under 23s defender to get you started, this guy is a very, very modest price. Hope you've enjoyed part 1, guys. Like, subscribe, share, retweet, all that good stuff. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.